Barbecue feels like a very modern word. It brings to mind grills, smoke, summer gatherings, and slow-cooked meat. But the word barbecue is far older than backyard cookouts, and its origin has nothing to do with grills or sauces. To understand why it is called barbecue, you have to go back hundreds of years, long before the word entered English, and long before barbecue became a style of food. The origin of the word is commonly traced to the Caribbean, specifically to the indigenous Taino people. The Taino used a wooden framework made of sticks to cook meat slowly over a fire. This structure raised the food above the flames, allowing heat and smoke to cook it gently over time. They called this structure a barbacoa. The word did not originally describe the food itself. It described the method and the wooden frame used for cooking and preservation. When Spanish explorers arrived in the Caribbean in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, they encountered this cooking technique. They adopted both the method and the word, translating barbacoa into Spanish as barbacoa, and eventually spreading it across the Americas. Over time, the meaning of the word began to shift. It no longer referred only to the structure. It started to describe the act of cooking meat slowly over fire and smoke. As European settlers moved northward into what is now the United States, the technique adapted to local conditions. Different regions had different animals, woods, and climates. Pigs became common in the southeastern United States because they were easy to raise and suited long, slow cooking. Smoking and indirect heat helped preserve meat before refrigeration existed. Barbecue became practical as well as flavorful. The word barbecue followed the method as it evolved. In English, spelling and pronunciation changed. Barbacoa became barbecue. Eventually, it was shortened to BBQ. But throughout these changes, the core idea remained the same: cooking meat slowly using indirect heat and smoke. What makes barbecue unique is that it is not defined by a single recipe or flavor. It is defined by technique. Sauces, seasonings, and meats vary widely by region. Texas barbecue emphasizes beef and smoke. Carolina barbecue focuses on pork and vinegar-based sauces. Other regions developed their own approaches. These differences sometimes create debates about what real barbecue is, but linguistically, they all descend from the same concept. The word barbecue survived because it described something people recognized immediately: time, smoke, and patience transforming food. It is also why barbecue is different from grilling. Grilling uses direct heat and cooks food quickly. Barbecue uses indirect heat and cooks food slowly. The word exists to make that distinction. Over time, marketing and casual use blurred the line, and barbecue became associated with outdoor cooking in general. But the original meaning still matters. Barbecue is not just food cooked outside. It is food cooked slowly, often for hours, in a way that changes its structure and flavor completely. So, when people talk about barbecue today, they are using a word that traveled from indigenous Caribbean technology, through Spanish colonization, into American food culture, and finally into everyday language. The spelling changed. The flavors changed. The equipment changed. But the idea stayed intact. Barbecue is called barbecue because it was never meant to describe a dish. It was meant to describe a way of cooking. Once you understand that, the word stops feeling casual and starts feeling historical. BBQ is not a trend. It is a method that survived because it works. If you enjoyed this explanation, the next story explores another familiar food word whose origin is older and stranger than it appears. Click on the channel to discover more untold stories behind simple things.